Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo Channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm doing a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, to see how they play it as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. A lot of times we get stuck in the story of what's happening. And we all know when we get stuck in a story, we can get stuck in a story with a family member. Hey, with Kimber, how you doing? Welcome back. Saying like, yeah, we all know when we get stuck ruminating, like when we get stuck in a negative energy, and we can get stuck in a negative energy with a parent, we can get stuck in that energy with friends, we can get stuck in, it's just a very uncomfortable energy. But that energy, when it's transformed, can really quantum help you quantum jump into a whole other reality, transform your entire life. Because those relationships that are so difficult and so hard and painful, well, once again, you get to see them from a different perception. There's always learning that's involved. It's always karmic. So once you again learn the karmic lesson, you usually become more psychic, because again you're seeing something from a different perception. And what is God? God is all knowing. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscience. We actually have that same capability because God made us in its image. However, we perceive that we're separate, because especially due to these difficult relationships, that's what does it. It's that we don't feel inadequate. No one's born feeling inadequate, right? Just like Adam and Eve, they didn't know that they were naked until they ate from that tree of knowledge. Well, we're born into families, societies that give us knowledge, that help us see things from different perceptions. And then what happens is that we wind up like creating the same exact experiences due to those experiences, those traumatic experiences that made us feel separate from source. And I say that because separate from source means we don't feel strong. We feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen in the future? Oh my God, look at me. We started like basing our life on the experiences that we lived, and the outcomes, instead of really who we are. It takes us further away from who we are. So I like to dive deep because, like I said, these relationships, there's always a reason. Otherwise, we get stuck in like, why did that happen? It's like that shouldn't have happened. We get stuck in the story, and there's nothing worse, because what that does is you just get more and more and more angry, frustrated. It keeps you stuck in a mindset that makes it impossible to manifest, right? Because you can't manifest if you're angry. You can't manifest good things. Abundance is the opposite energy. All right, so let's see what the underlining energy is. And we're also going to look and see, what you need to look at for today, the week. Sometimes it's the week, sometimes it's the month, sometimes it's just for the day. I don't know. Again, intuitively, you'll need to know. Oh my God, look what happened. They stuck together. I feel like that means we need to take it. Aggressive and clear family karma. Well, that says a lot, doesn't it? All right. So, and why? Because, hey, the karma started from the family that you were born into, right? So, if you were born into a family that made you feel like there was something wrong with you, maybe again, your mother suffered from anxiety or depression. Now you suffer from anxiety, depression. Maybe you grew up in an alcoholic family. It's any type of imbalance, and this is a collective reading, but we're all pretty much born into imbalanced environments. Nobody lives a Brady Bunch life, and even if you did, that might even be traumatic, a little traumatic. But this is saying it's again that anger. it's resentment, it's anger, it's like it makes you like not settled in yourself because family karma is inherited from a lot of different things. It's a war. It's what was going on collectively during the time that your grandparents and your parents were being brought up, the habits and the behaviorisms that they acquired due to their perceptions. So there was a lot of restriction back in the 50s and even in the 60s, like of what men were supposed to do, what women were supposed to do. So a lot is based on family karma. Everybody, like I said, has it. However, when you look at your life and say, well, it's affecting my life, and it's affecting my life because of how they treated me, the environment. Now, does that mean you're walking around that way? No, I think that most people say, I dealt with it, I got through it, but that memory is still imprinted on the subconscious mind. And remember, you manifest mainly from the subconscious mind. So without integrating that spiritual lesson, it just kind of, that energy just kind of stays stagnant, which then that's what you feel. You're like, I don't really see that much going on in my life. I feel stagnant because it'll keep that energy. So you may be connected to somebody that is triggering a lot of your family karma because of how they're treating you. And so it's this other themes begin to play out that make you kind of pissed off, that make you like try like to take you off your focus, really. So you have to be careful, is what spirit's saying right now, because you're clearing energy. And part of clearing energy, unfortunately, means that the universe is going to bring people and situations and experiences into your life that are going to piss you off. There's a greater reason, because once you clear this, then you're not holding on to any more of this, which leaves space for you to create, to become yourself. A lot of times when we're holding on to that karma, it's like, and that karma could be, well, my parents didn't have the money, so instead I decided to do X, Y, and Z, and it didn't get you the results. Could be anything. Like I said, it's wherever it's when we judge our life, or we're stuck due to what a parent did, or a family member did. So Spirit's saying community. These are things that you solely need to look at for yourself. And you might be like, community. Well, you can't go back in time. If there was a lack of support because of family karma, Spirit's saying, well, you have to create the support yourself. You have to reparent yourself. And maybe not even having as good of a connection to the physical body, right? The physical body is part of the connection to the physical world. Why it's the first chakra thing. The first chakra is all about all physical things. So every physical element that includes money. Well, it also includes your physical body and just all major structures of the physical body. So we have stress when we have a lot of family karma that's unresolved, and blockages because we don't feel supported. And then Spirit says, well, you have to create the support. And that's like through going out and joining things and being a part of your community. It might sound stupid, but when you are connected to somebody that's bringing up a lot of aggression and making you mad and making you, there's a sense of, well, what they did and what everyone else did, because it's family karma. Like this person is triggering those wounds from family. So Spirit says, in order to deal with the aggression and deal with that emotional trigger, you have to join things, you have to meet new people, you have to open up your third eye. You can't stay stuck in your mind where about what the person did do, what the person could have did. It's again that just adds to the anger and the aggression and the unhappiness, which is a normal response, is what spirit is saying, you know. So, part of it is getting a better connection to the body, exercising, because once you're in your body, you're in the present moment. There's a part of you again that because you can't fix that person. So it just shows again there was a lack of support. The support growing up, family karma, again, the lack of support from this person. So that's a reoccurring theme. And that reoccurring theme, it makes you obviously feel like it brings up a lot of things. So spirit's saying joining things, being part of your community, doing something creative, getting out of your mind is what spirit's saying. It's like because when you don't see anything because you're stuck in the emotion, because that's what'll happen, you have to get grounded. You have to be present. You have to focus on something else because in that space that you're creating, you get the intuition. You only in the now do you get divine guidance, but you're not going to get it if you're staring at it and you're aggression over it and you're mad and you're pissed off and you're stuck in the story. It's only just going to keep everything stuck, which you don't want that because again, usually people that are making you angry, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep you stuck, you know, where you're like, I don't understand what they do, where they give you mixed messages that's, I want you, but I don't want the responsibility. So Spirit's saying you can't control them. You can only control yourself. So you're getting the spiritual lesson again. As a child, you felt helpless. That's normal. And so that's why you would be angry. But you're not helpless now, as Spirit's saying. You need to again get back into the moment by taking a breath. That triggers the olfactory nervous system too to get out of fight, flight, freeze, which is really important because when you get angry, you're no longer present and you are actually triggering your nervous system. And that's why people get sick when they're connected to like karmic relationships because it wears away at the immune system. So it's a big deal. And family karma which is that root chakra, again, family support. Well, that is connected to all major systems of the physical body, we know. So the endocrinian system, the skeleton system, and the nervous system, all major systems that create support. So if you're not strong within yourself and a person's able to come in and make you angry and throw you off track, that's a you thing, Spirit's saying, because the universe brought you that person, that situation to awaken the wounds that needed to be cleared, which doesn't mean that it's an easy thing, especially if I never get support. Like it's always the same story. It's going to make you feel a certain way. It's going to kick up a lot of things. It's meant to, is what Spirit says. And understand we're going to look and also see how your person like feels about you, because sometimes it's like, again, they do this, but it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings for you. That's what the mind screw is. It's like, well, why would that person do it? Because hey, their family karma is also being triggered. Soulmates usually are born from like very similar backgrounds. They have like the same, they get each other. That's part of the synchronicity. That's part of you're my person. And so which is a paradoxical thing because the person isn't acting like they're your person. So, it's like you never know what you're going to get. And family karma, when you're born into like not really stability, you never know what you're going to get with those parents, with that situation. So understand that's what'll wind up playing out. So like what happens is that it becomes a grounding issue, and it becomes a grounding issue where you're not really fully present in the body, where Spirit says only in the now do you get divine guidance through gut intuition, inner knowing. So you have to be grounded and understand if you're not grounded, you feel disconnected from, the present moment, but your physical body, and it just causes a lot of confusion, anxiety, and lack of clarity, which is, understand, when you're connected to a karmic, that's what they'll do. They trigger you to keep you stuck, and this is how they do it. You're up in your head, you're no longer in the present, which is why you're being asked, it's time to get out into the community. It's time to create some sort of support. Take a class, be present, take a drawing class, take an art class, take a creative class, use a different part of your brain. Spirit saying, it's like, because that'll open up your solar plexus. Solar plexus is gut knowing. Only in the now do you get divine guidance. And what happens is it'll help your self-esteem. Understand, psychic attack is that when you're with a person that does one thing, says another thing, and isn't giving you any stability. It's going to keep it's like confused, like, but it's an attack on your self-esteem, is what Spirit's saying. So you need to um get more confident within yourself. And a lot of times, the only way that you get confident in yourself is when you get away from those energies and you're able to listen to yourself, which goes back to get out into the community, join things, like get away from this energy, because you'll be able to, like, meet different people that are going to treat you differently. That's first of all. Second of all, what you're showing everybody is, it doesn't matter, like, what you say, matters what I choose, what I think about me. And when you again act on that, well, people, they don't get anything from it. See, the whole point is they want to antagonize you. They antagonize you by not giving you anything, by making you feel a certain way. It's all an attack on your self-esteem, that solar plexus, where Spirit's saying, it's like, you have good intuition. What you don't have is, again, you have a lot of broken trust from the past. So that's what makes a person question, I can't trust myself. And the Spirit says, you can trust yourself. You didn't listen to your solar plexus because you were never in your fucking body, because the person gaslit. They played a lot of games. So you weren't aware. But it's, again, it kicked up a lot of those feelings from the past, which is really why the spiritual situation had to play out, because Spirit's saying, you're stuck from that, and that could be, I had very, like, controlling parents that made me feel a certain way, and Spirit saying, so that you would need to see yourself differently, and the only way that happens is to embody a whole other consciousness, like, and that's not going to happen by you just doing it. It's like you have to, like, you got to get triggered to do it, is what Spirit says. Your words have power beyond the infinite understanding of what you can perceive. Say affirmations. Your words are spells. It's like, don't talk negative about yourself. Don't talk about, it's, again, be positive, is Spirit saying. Well, you don't realize, and then just check to be sure that, every story that you tell yourself is really one that's going to be beneficial to you. A lot of times, being in situations and relationships, people can make us feel a certain way. And Spirit says no one should be able to do that. Again, because it brings you back to this anger and resentment, which is just aggression. It's just in a different way, where Spirit's saying that's not healthy energy. It's like, and understand, you could have also inherited that, where it's like, hey, my parent was always angry. That's the way that they dealt with everything. And you just, again, deal with things that way. Then you attract people that are that way. And it's part of, again, the way that your parents dealt with it. But understand, anxiety will also come across as aggression. Like, a person's really mad and terrifying to deal with when they have, aggression. But a lot of times it's just anxiety. but you wouldn't know it and you wouldn't want to deal with it either. So Spirit's saying it's like that's something that you need to look at. Now, when we say, let's look and see what the person really feels about you, because we see the wounds. We see what the whole purpose of the relationship is. I will always remember you. Soul relationship. I have things to deal with before I can love again. So, I feel like this person does have a lot of feelings. Again, soulmate, but past life karmic mate. And like what I'm feeling is like this person needs to like rise to the occasion in order to actually be with you. I'll look at that after. Read all your things after. But thank you for asking. We have past life issues that we are working on. So I feel like you are connected to someone, again, that's a past life karmic. And we know that. That's why you were also born into the family that you were born into. So it kind of like all ties together. But what this person is seeing, it's like, well, listen, in order for you to really clear, the family karma, like you have created like a boundary, and that boundary kind of is your aggression, and this person feels that. So they're not confident to actually come to you and actually fix this because they don't really I feel like want to 100%. And the reason why is because, hey, they have so much of their own wounds. Remember, you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. If the relationship looks this difficult, and it's difficult because, hey, there's unresolved past life karmic issues, and it's coming out in your family, it's coming out, it's coming out in other areas of your life. That Spirit saying, hey, that you have other things in your life, and this person knows too. So they're saying, I know that this relationship would not work out, and I don't want to get hurt. It's like this person is almost like, because of your boundary, because you're like, I'm not putting up with any of it. Either you're going to come in correct and you're going to fix everything, and you're going to fix it to a point that, I don't even recognize. And this person is saying, like, they have their own issues. They have to figure out why they did what they did to you. I'm going to pick from a different deck. Obstacles, different deck. What's the obstacle? Obstacles is this person's mind, is the whole changing, is the fact that you're holding to a standard. What is the issue? I run away from avoiding my fucking problems. That's what it is. And they consider this like a problem because you're making me hold to a certain standard. And I don't like it. And you're like, you have a problem with the fact that I don't let you disrespect me. You have a problem with that. And so that's what you're dealing with. It's like when you held to a standard, and this person is like, oh, this isn't a little game that we're playing. And you're like, this isn't a game that is playing. Like, this person does this, I feel like this person does have, like they still daydream about you. There's still this spiritual connection, but that's all that there is. This person has a lot of unhealthy attachments. So that's what it is. They either are connected to somebody that you're like, I would not deal with you if you're connected to those people, that person, to doing drugs, to doing whatever your unhealthy attachment is, I wouldn't deal with it. And so this person is saying, I know that as soon as I would be in your life, you wouldn't have me in your life. Like, it would just create, like, this person's not in a good space to begin with. Understand that. Because a person that has unhealthy attachments are codependent. That's what the issue is. So they're not in a good place to begin with. this relationship played out as such because this person chooses to stay in a low vibration. They would have to get rid of the unhealthy attachment. They would have to face their problems. And with you, you're holding to a standard. So you're like, I'm not putting up with this shit. It's like, I don't know who you think I am, but I'm not that person. It's like, and so this person can feel the aggression and they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. And that's somebody that's like immature, someone that's childish, someone that would be very jealous and possessive of you, that likes to make people jealous and possessive so that they don't have to do it, but they're the ones that are jealous and possessive. You know, it's not that they don't find you incredibly attractive, they do, but they're afraid of commitment and they don't have to have one. And that's the issue. It's like, so it would be surface. So is it a soulmate? Yeah, it's a soulmate, but it's a past life soulmate. And where a person doesn't want to learn, they don't want to heal, they don't want to do anything. So Spirit says, so you don't need to stay attached to that energy. It's going to make you pissed off. It's going to, because the person's like, just like, I just like, no, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to do what I don't want to do what I have to do. And Spirit saying, that's why you need to get grounded. That's why you need to go out into the community. That's why you need to recreate a life, is what Spirit's saying. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this energy connected to somebody that's like, I'm not going to do anything. It's like, and no one wants that. Spirit says you have to clear your ancestral wounds. This person is like, again, is negative. They want to create aggression. You grew up in that type of environment where maybe you felt gaslit, and then when you reacted to it, they're like, oh, you're being so emotional, like your feelings didn't matter. And Spirit's saying, it's like, no, this person knows exactly what they're doing. And they want you to react. They want you to react because, hey, then it's like, look how much you care about me. Look how much you care. And that's why Spirit's saying, get in your body, join things, be part of like the community. You might meet somebody new. A lot of times when you choose you, that's what happens. When you choose you, you can have numerous things, like you're not just stuck in that. Yeah, like, understand, look at that. That's a phallic sign, Ace of Wands. So you can make something happen where I told you would meet somebody. It's like, if you go out into your community, it's not a fact that's like that. It's that you're keeping yourself stuck to a person that isn't worth the dirt on your shoe. Not worth the dirt on your shoe. And that's really what it is. It's like they don't really want to do anything. So it's time to put that connection to an end, is what Spirit's saying. It's okay to date. It's okay for you to, meet someone else. It's okay. Spirit says you don't need to fall in love tomorrow. Here we see again, here's another night. So you're going to meet like a few different people. And Spirit says it's so that you don't fall head over heels so fast. Date a few people. And the reason why is because you give too much. It's, again, you need to make people kind of work for your time. So it doesn't mean sleep with them. What it means is get to know them. The person wants to take you out. They want to take you out to dinner. This person wants to take you out to dinner. Go out to dinner. This person's more adventurous. It's, again, then go do things. It's like you can be friends. They need to earn your spot. And if you get too emotionally connected to one person, when you have wounds of your own, which we didn't even look at your wounds yet, but clearly we looked at a few of the blockages, but we didn't look at your inner child wounds. Again, the magician. And the magician is, it's like you change, you're able to change your life. And you need to do that. You need to transform your life. It's like, because being connected to a person that doesn't want to give anything, that's going to keep you stuck in being angry. Well, again, that's like repeating maybe how your parents lived, where they were angry, and you don't need to do that. Is what Spirit's saying. So you have to look and say, what are the inner child wounds? What do you need to see? And we look and we see, again, feeling unworthy. Let's see, source, cleansing, a lot of healing, a lot of healing right there. Water. Should have known that was going to come out. Rage and shame. So whenever we see shame, we usually do see self-sabotage, and that's due to not knowing our worth. But the inner child wound cards here is, it's like affected you, where if you felt unworthy, and that could be, hey, my parent had anxiety, and it was the way that they talked. It was the way, remember, family karma is inherited of how did your grandparents talk to your parents? How did they deal with them? But what was going on during that time that they were like that? Were they, was life harder? Was it more difficult? Again, that rage, that anger is passed down. And so it becomes like that default mechanism. Like, I'm not really mad, but the parent just always seemed mad, and that's because they were always stressed out. But it made you feel like not worthy. It affected your second chakra. And the second chakra is, we know it's the water element, but it's all about your unique individuality, who you perceive that you are. And what I see here is a lot of healing energy. Like I said, I see you were close to source and the cleansing card. So like you may be like a highly sensitive person, like an empath. So you're someone that's sensitive, that needed that nurturing, that needed it. So it wasn't so much that your parent wasn't loving, it's just you needed that support, because if you empaths tend to feel different when they're younger. They can feel things, they can see things, they just feel different. So again, they disconnect where there's a grounding issue. So Spirit said, we saw that already, the grounding issue that you have. So again, the grounding issue is because, well, you were with Source. And so you do have this very spiritual energy, the soft energy, and the universe will always kind of bring you energy that you need to like learn how to work with, but you also need to learn how to work with it because you grew up in that type of environment, which is, made you feel very uncomfortable. It made you feel bad. It made you feel like that there was something wrong, even when there wasn't anything wrong. And it's just because that parent had anxiety, that parent like made you feel that way. And it's because that's how their parent made them feel. And that's because that's how their parent made them feel. And they were worried. And they were worried because of money. They were worried because of a war. They were worried because of everything that was going on collectively. And then how they looked at themselves. Like, well, I'm not safe. So if I'm not safe, then you're not safe. And so there's this energy of, I don't feel that you don't feel good about yourself. Because shame never makes a person feel good about themselves. But you're not shame. You're not the environment, is what Spirit says. You have an opportunity to relive a whole other life. Why be connected to like a person that clearly is angry? They're angry. They're full of aggression. So they would love to make you more like bring that out, because misery loves company. They haven't healed. Spirit says all you need to do to heal is to go and reparent yourself. Go out, like date a bunch of people. It's again, look, I am attractive. I have my choice. Don't emotionally get caught up. It's like relationships take time, spirit's saying. Person needs to earn that. It's like, don't just date, do things for yourself by joining things within your community. Again, friendships, things that are emotionally going to fulfill you, because you need to train a person also on how you want to be treated, and that's how you're treating yourself. If you're always around spirits like, this person is cocky in themselves because they're like, oh, most people, they don't nurture themselves. They're looking for a relationship to do that. And this person will sell you anything, but they don't really want to do it. It's like, and that's the thing. It's connected to someone that made you pissed off all the time, because it's like, there's no reason why. It's just, I don't want to do it. I'm superior. Like, there's a little bit of that. Like, I'm superior. I don't have to do it, and that's why I'm like, I don't like this person's energy. They hide who they are. They can't really even let you in to their life, because that's not really a person's who they are. So it's like, I pretend to be someone that I'm not. I like having surface relationships because, hey, you never get to know, and I don't emotionally get caught up, but I pretend that I want a real relationship. And you're like, I'm not going to be with you while you have like some attachment to you, that you're not going to show up for me. But that attachment is a person that isn't being treated right. It's a person that is like going to let this person cheat. It's going to let this person do whatever the hell they want. They're getting something from it, but they let them stay in a lower vibration with you. You're like, I'm not going to do that. And it was a test. But Spirit says staying connected to someone that makes you angry is what needs to be looked at, because that means that you're not doing anything with that angry energy. And this reading started off with, hey, that negative energy, we can actually quantum jump into a whole other reality, which Spirit says it's right there. Why stay connected to that? It's like, yeah, the person like would love to have a fling. It's like, but they're not capable of anything unless they put on a good show, but they hid from you who they are. You wouldn't like who they were. Spirit saying that, and that's the whole thing. It's like you would be angry. This situation was only to help you alchemize the negative energy. It's again now take that pain and turn it into power. Go out into the community, meet your tribe, meet other people. There's support. You are supported. You don't have to face anything alone, is what Spirit's saying. You have friends, there's other people. Envision a brighter horizon, Spirit's saying. Do you know the things that you want to do, where you want to go, like what you want to achieve? Do you have a bucket list? Do you go out and try something different every month? Or are you living like a pretty bland life every day, doing the same thing every day, hoping that somebody is going to come in and give you that passion? Spirit's saying. It's like, no. Spirit says it's time to transform that energy, see beyond the illusion of who you think that you are. And Spirit's saying, it's like, know that you're a strong person, that you're a confident person. This is about you finding your passions. And you'll meet people along the way, is what Spirit's saying. You need to release control. Wanting to stay connected to someone and wanting them to change, it's like that's a bit of control. Spirit says, again, join something, go out into uncharted waters. You're going to meet new people. You're going to see yourself differently. You're going to see different opportunities that you didn't even think that you could have. Spirit saying, that's why it's about going and flowing, going with the flow of your life. Meaning that this person can't stop you. They can't block you. They can't do anything. No one can. The focus is on a passion. It's about where you want to go, what you want to do, what you're passionate about, stirring up that, and then seeing your genius, seeing yourself, living boldly, truly, like for you, nobody else, and happy. Learning to love yourself is what Spirit's saying fully by investing in yourself, by showing fierce strength. Like, no, you will not put baby in the corner. You will not. And yes, it will require great faith because it's like, well, I'm letting go. There's great faith that something better is there. That's what you're doing. You're saying, no, I deserve that. It's a test, it's a karmic test that requires you to, yes, go into the unknown, either stay with this energy, which you already see is not worth it. You're just going to stay connected to someone that pisses you off because they're not going to do anything, or move into the unknown. At this point, this person has feelings for you, but they're not enough that they want to change or get rid of the unhealthy attachments. What are you going to do with that? Spirit says you can't do anything with it. And Spirit says the path to light. You make the conscious choice to move forward to the light. One step at a time, you transform your weaknesses into strengths, master your thoughts, you overcome the obstacles with positivity and acceptance. And you develop your gifts and you extend your light unconditionally. And that was actually a perfect card for this reading. But we're going to pull another one, another two. Okay, and Spirit's saying, the voice of the heart, silence your fear in you and discover the voice of your heart. The fruit of your words guides you. You trust the song of your soul. Your intuition leads you on the path to light. So this is about, again, still becoming yourself. So even though you're like, it's a path to your heart, it's about giving and receiving of love through your free will. So you become the energy of love by doing what you love, then connecting to your soul family. Your tribe is what Spirit says. Otherwise, you would never have settled for less because this person is less. It's like, and it doesn't mean that you don't have a job and it doesn't mean that you don't have a friends. What it means is they're not fulfilling you and you're not getting to see your goodness. Like truly, like what is your contribution to humanity? Like, why are you here? Like, you're here to be so much more and to do so much more and to have so much more. So Spirit's saying, and so the situation helps you to refine your character and overcome difficulties and remain positive. And that's something that's really hard to do when you're dealing with a person that's like deliberately trying to trigger you. You calm your heart, you illuminate your intellect to transform the shadows into light. And you do that by alchemizing the energy, by Spirit saying, join things, go out into the unknown. You're going to meet somebody. It's not like that there's not other people. You're going to have a selection of people. Learn to get to know people, like, and have a conversation. In the beginning, a lot of times people just want to be with someone that they're so attracted to, and they don't take the time to get to know. And it's so what we fall in love with is a version of a person that doesn't exist, and that's what Spirit's saying. It's like, no, you're getting a situation where you're learning to love yourself and put in, and yes, you're going to meet a lot of different people and you're going to see that they treat you nice. And that's what Spirit says. You need to see that so that it's like, maybe you're not head over heels for that person, but they're fun, they're knowledgeable, they teach you something, you have an experience, and they treated you nice. So it starts to change that energetic vibration of, well, no one shows up for me, no one cares. Spirit says, no, everything on there is there, but by you choosing you get what you want. You might not have gotten it with the person that you wanted. You get it with what you want. So what you begin to see is, well, someone that I don't really want to be with. And Spirit says, yes, but what it shows you is that you're changing the energetic template because you're at least getting what you want. But it's also to teach you to look for other things, not just, well, I really wanted the person to be hot, and the person's like, they're a few pounds overweight. Like Spirit says, like again, look at something else. And you're like, no, but this is just my way. And Spirit says, but your way got you that person. And Spirit says that you're being forced to change. It's like again, so that you become who you need to become. Because when you do, you don't just improve your life, you improve the qualities of life for everyone when you heal yourself. And the Spirit's saying it's like it's not a bad thing. Everything returns to light, everything returns to love for you. It's like, but you're being taught that love comes in many different forms, first of all, and only God's love is perfect. So you get to acquire God's love by honoring yourself because God inside of you as a gift of spirit, right? So when you realize that there's no separation between you and God, well, then you can love yourself and you can have faith in the life that you want to create for yourself. However, being connected to a person like that makes you feel a certain way just because they're lazy, it's like, again, it's going to make you angry. So again, you take your power back. And that's what this story was pretty much about. It was about taking your power back. There's no greater revenge than being like, I don't care. And guess what? I'm going to be dating multiple people. And not because I'm a slut or I'm a gigolo, but because, hey, I don't really know what I want fully. And Spirit says, and you don't. And it's like people will show you versions of themselves on who they want you to perceive that they are when you are not strong within yourself. So you're being asked to, become strong within yourself. But if you notice, every single person that came in after was a knight. They weren't a king. And knights, we already know, yeah, they're a knight. They're like, a little bit like gigolo type of energy. They're not a page, but they're a knight. They're a little player, let's face it. So, I mean, a little bit better, the knight that comes in with the pentacles, but that wand, well, we already know all about that wand. So, it's like it's a lot of people are going to be like that, but it makes me feel good to say I am desirable. And you don't have to be with them. You can be like, well, let that person make you feel like a king or a queen. That's okay. It's like you're spending time with them, you're having a good time with them, and then that's it. It's about being surrounded by people and choosing who to be around. That's gonna make you feel good. That's gonna grow you, especially after that energy, because that person just wanted to keep you stuck. Yeah, I like you, but I don't want to give you anything, but I don't want to see you move forward. And I can pretty much am cocky enough to believe that, I can make you stay stuck. So that's why Spirit's saying you have to do this. You have to do it for yourself. It's a spiritual thing because once you see it for yourself, well, then you're like, well, I don't have to deal with this. I can get so much better and create a whole other life and then that person is going to realize. But until then, they're in the dark, and they're in the dark because their ego is so big. It's the way that they can just stay in that low vibration, right? Because healing doesn't feel good. So I'm going to leave that there. I always thought it was your anger in life that attracted the. Well, I think that it's like you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So if you have anger and you're mad, well, understand then you attract angry and mad people too. So understand in this story, there was aggression due to just the fact of I grew up in that type of an environment. That's what that was. Person's like, I grew up in that environment. I never felt comfortable. I always felt like I was an inconvenience. I always felt like it's because my parent had anxiety or I had to ask. And the way that they were. So the way that, that ancestral karma is like, well, I never felt loved. So then go out in life and recreate the same exact things, bring people to you that are emotionally not capable. So you're reliving that attachment style over and over and over and over, which brings you the end result, which is it pisses me off. And it's like because it makes you feel a certain way. You can't change somebody, you change yourself. So you're right. You are connecting to that person because there is anger there. But that anger can be transmuted, as I said, which is the whole point of the story, to turn it into something that's going to quantum jump you into a new reality because then you're not uh, angry anymore. You're not even thinking about that person. As you cut that energy off, which is what you need to do. Otherwise, then it's like it's just going to drain you. It's going to make you feel tired. It's going to make you feel lethargic. And that goes back to the chakras, where we said that first chakra is where your adrenals are. And so if someone's continuously making you mad, it's not healthy. It's bad. It's been That's why it's a karmic thing. It means learn. Are you going to learn? Are you going to say that, like, are you going to keep trying to put that square peg in the circle hole? That person's a square. They don't want to conform. They don't want to. And it's like, again, you may want to because you've invested and they should, and we have this connection, and why not? And so it's like hard to wrap your head around it because the person doesn't think logically, but Spirit says it's like family karma. When you're born into a family that you're like, well, my parents are supposed to love me. They're supposed to do this. It's supposed to look that way. And then it doesn't look that way. But it brought the same karmic theme, which is, I can never have anyone love me. And Spirit says, you can, but you have to do it for yourself, was the moral to the story. Then you change that. You're able to completely change the energetic template. And it doesn't mean you don't meet people that are angry along the way, but you change. So the way that you react to those people is completely different. It's like being always reacting to people in fear. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Eventually you're like, yeah, I know that you're going to be pissed off, but I don't care because I don't see myself the way that I used to. Maybe you see yourself as, I'm worthy, I'm good enough. It's like, who are you to make me feel that way? You get to a point where you're like, no. It's like, I know my worth, and that's healing, but people will make you try to feel bad about that. They'll try to make you settle for less. And Spirit says, don't you dare settle for less. You really have to love yourself in order to succeed in life, because there will always be someone that has a problem with it. And you're not $100 bill. You're not going to make everyone happy. So make yourself happy is the moral to the story. And then the right people will surround you. The right people will come into your life. So sometimes you might have to stand alone for a minute or two, but you're never really alone because God's always inside of you as a gift of spirit. So you're actually, when you stand alone, you're actually the most protected because God's saying, well, I have your back. It's like, I see what's going on here. And that's it. Out of everybody, that's who you'd want to have, your back. You don't really need your mother to have your back, someone that's full of anxiety, or your friend that forgets to fucking do half the shit that you ask them to do, not because they don't love you, because they're just to smoke too much pot, maybe, whatever. It's like you want God because God's always going to show up for you. It's not going to be, smoking weed somewhere or, forget, or if not find that it's important. They're not going to jade you. So when you're true to yourself, and that's what this story really showed. It's like, because at one time you were made to feel bad about yourself, whether that was self-induced, whether it was the environment. Here it showed more of the environment. However, you're also sensitive, it showed, because you had those empath energies. So when you are an empath and you don't have that love and that support, you begin to like envision everything like as it's a reflection of yourself. And so you begin to need a lot of healing. So Spirit says, so it was your path, and then this person made you feel that way. But it's at the end, it showed that you learn the spiritual lesson. And again, there's reward on the other end. So I'm gonna leave that there. Yep. Always love yourself. That's what you need to do, Kimber. That is it. It's the lesson. It's a lesson is to, you can't just get rid of anger. You need to, again, transform it, alchemize it. That's why you got alchemize and you got transformation, because you just can't leave that anger there, because like I'm connected to someone that just doesn't want to fix it. They have feelings for me, but they just want to be an asshole. That's going to make everybody mad. It's like, I don't want to stay connected to that. I'm mad that I'm connected to that. So all those emotions are correct emotions to feel, but Spirit says, but you don't want to hold on to them. Do something with it. And once you do, it'll open up a whole new life. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated. Like the video. Thanks for being interactive with me, Kimber. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.